Welcome back to Food Tech Travel and Fun. If you're looking to make Detroit-style pizzas, man, I got the recipe for you. We got the Garden OG, Pepperoni Poppy, and the Backyard Fool. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the vodka sauce. You're going to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a few pads of butter, and let that melt and get to know each other nicely. Next, you're going to add a whole diced onion. Mix that up until translucent, followed by 16 ounces of pancetta. Now, there's a lot of grease in this, so just make sure if it's a little too much, you take some of it out. After that, we get our vodka going. I love Tito's, and man, I hate that little stopper on top. Those alcoholics know exactly what I'm talking about. You get 2 cups of this, boom. Add it straight into the sauce. Let it mix up nicely. Look at that. Next, we're going to get some San Marzano's tomatoes. Now, I actually got the whole tomato and I blended it all up. You can choose however you like. They also have the crushed one. Next, we're going to take some fresh basil. Chop that up really nice. Make sure that you add it to the sauce after. You're going to throw 7 grams of salt, about 3 grams of pepper in there. Mix it all up really nice. Then go get your basil that you chopped up. Throw that in. Then after that, we're going to pour in some heavy cream. Probably about a half a cup. You don't need too much more. Mix that up really nice. Now we get started with the bread. Going to add about 600 grams of bread flour, followed by 10 grams of salt. Next, you're going to add about 500 grams of water and about 4.5 grams of active dry yeast. Mix that in with the water in addition to a tablespoon of olive oil. Because remember, olive oil goes in all focaccia bread, and that's the base of our pizza. Mix that whole mixture into the bread flour that you got sitting there. Now, remember, this dough is going to be a high moisture dough, so it's okay that it's a little sticky, all right? So as you're mixing, you're going to use your little bread scraper. Make sure that you get all the goodness off, and then cover it up, let it rest for about an hour. After 1 hour, then we start the flip and fold, or the stretch and fold, however you want to call it. We're going to do 3 rounds of this with 30 minutes in between, letting the bread rest and rise. Make sure to wash your hands in between too, because that stuff gets really sticky for you. All right, there's number 2 of the flip and stretch and fold. And here we go with number 3. After the third one, you're actually going to want to do a little bit of folding in the middle, because that's going to help it rise later on. Now you get your big tub or whatever receptacle you want to use, oil that up, and go ahead and drop that in there. So for Detroit pizzas and this focaccia style bread, you want to do a cold proofing. Let that sit for about 2 days in your fridge, and you'll see how nicely the dough is going to rise. After that, we're going to start with our cheeses. So first you get your low moisture mozzarella, chop that up into cubes, and then you're going to use a little bit of jack cheese as well. Chop that up into cubes. And for both of the cheeses, you really want to shred some of it up as well, just so that you have it at the ready. Now that you've rested the focaccia, put it in your pan and hit that bad boy with some butter. Oh yeah, look at that. Get seductive with it. Just get it all over that bread. That butter is going to give such a beautiful flavor once you're done. Okay, a little too much there. Next, let's start layering the cheese. Now, the whole thing with the Detroit pizza is that it gets a frico crust on the edge, all around the edge. That frico crust is just basically the cheese frying and crisping up on the side for you. Once you're done with that, go to town with whatever toppings you'd like. Here, I'm making the pepperoni poppy. It's got small, bite-sized pepperoni, large pepperoni, turns into these nice little cups. I'm gonna throw in some mushrooms in there. Look at that nice chop. And once we're done, toss that bad boy right in the oven. Now here's another little insider tip. Focaccia loves steam to cook. So throw some water in there. Oh, look at that. Heat it up at an oven for about 550 degrees for 20 minutes. You can do 22. I cooked this one a little bit too much for my liking, but it still came out great. Now, as with the Detroit sauces, you add those 2 racing stripes right down the side there. Throw a little fresh basil on that. Listen to the crunch. Listen to the scraping of that delicious cheese. And start cutting it up. Look at that. The sauce and the cheese just melt perfectly with each other. I threw a little bit of ricotta and cannot forget our Seattle hot honey. That really made the difference. After you do that, just enjoy. Okay, moment of truth here. I've got the pizza right there that we made. Let me try this out. Oh my God. The vodka sauce was so good. You see the bread is perfectly cooked right through. All right, let's see what the Frico cheese crust is like. Oh my God. Yeah, I will definitely be making this one again. Okay, so one thing that I didn't talk about here, the bottom of the crust. It looks a little burnt, but it is so crispy. Got a little bit of that burnt cheese. You see that there? This one's definitely a winner.